Hello and welcome. Loops in programming are used to repeat a block of code again and again. So, in this video, we will learn about one such loop called as while loop. There is a slight variation of while loop called as do while loop, which also will be taught in this video. Alright, so let us start the lesson and start learning about while loop by taking an example. Alright, so first let me explain you the syntax of while loop and tell you how it works. So while loop syntax starts with the while keyword and inside the bracket will be the condition, and inside the flower brackets are the statements which needs to be executed when the condition is true. Okay, so now let me say here 1 less than 3, and here let me say printf and hello world. Okay, hello world. So this is my program which has a while loop. Now what we are basically saying is until 1 is less than 3, repeat or execute this. Okay, so what happens is when the program runs for the first time, it checks whether this is true. 1 less than 3, is it true? Yes, it is true, and so this is executed, and then once again this is checked whether 1 is less than 3. This is true, and so once again this is printed out. Once again after executing this line, it checks whether the condition is true or false. It is true, and so once again this is printed out. So this is executed until this becomes false. So when does this become false? This doesn't become false at all, correct? 1 is always less than 3. So what we will be getting is an infinite loop which will keep on printing hello world. So let us check that. Let me run it, and you can see we get infinite number of hello worlds. Now this will keep on executing until the memory runs out. Okay, so let me stop the program here. I guess I assume that you have understood. As this is always true, this keeps on printing. Okay, this keeps on executing. Now let us make some modifications so that this becomes false at some time. Alright, so for that I will declare a variable. I'll say int I equal to 1. So I'm saying int I equal to 1, and here I'll say I less than 3. Alright, and now here I will say I is equal to I plus 1, and I will end it here. So let me run this and see what result I get. I get hello world 2 times. So let me add a new line character so that the hello words come in separate lines. Now you can see I have got hello world 2 times. Now let us analyze how this works. I have declared a variable and set the value to 1. So I is initially 1. Okay. Now when this runs for first time, I value will be 1. Okay. So 1 less than 3. Is this true? Yes, this is true, and so this will be printed out. So we have the first hello world here. Next, 1 will be added to I. What is I now? I is 1, correct? Initially I is 1. So 1 will be added to I, which is 1, and the new value of I will be 2. So this will be 2. New value of I will be 2. Okay. Then once again it will come to this line. Alright. At the end of this, it will come back to this line. So here it is I. So the new value of I is 2, it checks whether 2 is less than 3. It is less than 3. This is true, and so this is executed once again, and we have the hello world for second time. Now this I value is 2, I value is 2, 1 is added to 2, which becomes 3, the new value of I is 3 now, and once again the control goes to this, it checks whether I, which is now 3, is less than 3. So I is 3, 3 is not less than 3, so this becomes false, and so this is skipped, and so we do not have anything after the second hello world. Okay, so this is how the while loop works. So let me replace this to the initial values. So this is how a while loop works. Okay, so first I is equal to 1, 1 is less than 3, true, and so this is executed. 1 is added to I, which is 1, so this becomes 2, I becomes 2, so 2 is less than 3, true, this is executed. 2 plus 1 becomes 3, new value of I is 3, 3 is not less than 3, so it exits. Okay, so this is how a while loop works. Alright, now let me show you how do while works. Now the syntax of do while is this. Okay, while is this, while condition and statements inside brackets. Do while is this. Let me write it and explain it to you. So here if you see, if I make a change here, if I say 6, okay, if I say I equal to 6, and if I run the program, I will not get any output. This is because I am saying I is equal to 6 in the beginning. When it gets checked here, 6 less than 3, this comes out as false. 6 is not less than 3, so this comes out as false, so this is skipped, okay, or this is not executed, and so we do not have any result here. Only when we have I equal to either 1 or 2, in this case we will get an output. Okay, now let me have it here. Okay, let me comment it out. To show you the difference between while and do while loop. Okay, so I have commented this out, so if I run it, it will not execute anything. The syntax of do while loop is first do, okay, do keyword, and then the flower brackets, okay, and inside brackets let me have print f, and let me say hello world. Okay, hello world. This is my print statement, and here below after the end of curly braces I'll say while, and I will have the same condition I less than 3. Okay, I less than 3. So see, do this until this. Okay, that is what this means. But here I have not initialized a variable, so I will say I equal to 1. Okay, and inside I will say I is equal to I plus 1. Alright, so basically you can see I have this thing, I have the same thing here. I have int I equal to 1. Here also I have int I equal to 1. Okay, so int I equal to 1. So basically the same program, int I equal to 1, int I equal to 1, and inside while loop we have this, but inside do we have this, and then the same condition I less than 3 for while, I less than 3 for while. Okay, now let us check the output. So let me run it, and you can see I have hello world, hello world. Let me have a new line character and let me run it. Okay, so hello world. So now let me explain you how this works. Okay, do this while this is true or until this is true. That is what do while means. Okay, now I have declared a variable I equal to 1. So 1 is stored in I, or the value of I is 1. When the program runs for the first time, this is executed without this condition being checked. Okay. So without checking this condition, this is executed. So first hello world that we got here was before checking for this condition, whether it is true or false. Alright. So when the program executes, this happens, and then hello world is executed, we get hello world, then I is incremented by 1. So I is 1, so 1 plus 1 becomes 2, and now this condition is checked, whether 2 is less than 3. So this comes out as true, and when this comes out as true, this is executed once again. Okay. So this is printed after checking this, whether 2 is less than 3. 2 is less than 3. Okay. So we have our second hello world. Then 2 plus 1 becomes 3. Next it is checked here once again. 3 less than 3. This comes out as false, and so this is skipped, or it ends here. Alright. So that is the difference between while and do while loop. In while loop, only if this condition is true, this will be executed, meaning this will be checked first. This will be checked first, and only if it is true, this will be printed. Whereas in do while loop, first this will be printed and then this condition will be checked. Okay. So now let me have 7 here, I equal to 7 here, and now let me run, and you can see I get hello world. Okay. See, I have said I equal to 7, meaning 7 is in I. What happens is, first this will be executed without checking for this condition. Okay. If you check for this condition, this comes out as false initially, correct? 7 less than 3, this is false. But without this condition being checked, this is executed. So hello world is obtained here. So after this is executed, this is executed. So I plus 1, 7 plus 1, it becomes 8. Now this condition is checked, 8 less than 3, whether 8 is less than 3. 8 is not less than 3, and so it stops here. So do while loop always executes one time, meaning whatever is in do while loop always gets executed one time. After that, condition is checked. Whereas this, there is no guarantee that this will be executed one time, because if the condition becomes false, this will be skipped, whereas this will be executed one time, whether the condition is true or not. Alright. So that is about do while loop. Now I will give you an exercise with do while loop later, but let me proceed with while loop now. Let me delete this entire thing. Let me take an example and explain you how while loop works, or an example of while loop. Now I want to print out a multiplication table like this. Okay. I want to take this number from user. I want to ask the user, what multiplication table do you want us to print out? Whether it is multiplication table of 2 or 3 or 10 or 5 or 17, or what number is it? Okay. And then after taking the input from user for the number, we will print this out. Okay. So let us do this together. So here I will say int and num. Okay. Int and num. And I will say enter a number. Enter a number. Okay. And then I'll scan it and I'll send it to num. I'll send it to num. Alright, so let me run it, and it says enter a number, and I'll say 5. Let me take this example itself, 5. Okay. So after I hit enter button, 5 is stored in this variable. Okay. Now I need one more variable. That is for this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I will take one variable and set the value to 1. Initially we start with 1, correct? 5 into 1 equal to 5. So this number we have taken from the user. This we will set it for one more variable. So I will say I equal to 1. What is this? It is this. Okay, this. Now we have to use while loop. While, what do you think the condition is here? What should be increased every single time? It is this number, correct? Every single time this must be incremented. What is this? It is I, correct? So while I is less than 11, why less than 11? Because we want 10 also, correct? We want 10 also. If I say 10 here, this will stop at 9. Or else what you can do is you can have less than or equal to 10. Okay. While I is less than or equal to 10, what do we want? What do we want to print out? We want to print this out, correct? So let us have a printf statement inside which we will have this. So how do we print this out? This is what is this? This is integer. This is also an integer. This is also an integer, correct? So I will have percentage d, that is for this, and then I will have x, okay, x, that is for this x, and then one more percentage d, that is for this, and then an equal to symbol. I will have equal to symbol, and then one more percentage d, okay, one more percentage d. So this is what, or this is the format in which I want to have the output. Okay, percentage d is equal to percentage d. Now what do I want in the place of first percentage d? The number that I have taken from the user, correct? So NUM. So I want NUM in the first position. Next, in the second position, what do I want? In the second position, what do I want? I want the value of I. Okay, I want the value of I. And then in the third position, what do I want? I want the product of this and this, correct? 5 into 1, how much is it? That must be printed out here. So what I want here is num star I. Okay, num star I. So num star I. Alright. Now this is done. We have got the first output. But then every time this must be incremented, correct? This must be incremented. 1 should become 2, 2 should become 3, 3 should become 4, and so on, correct? So we must increment the value of I. I is equal to I plus 1. Alright? I is equal to I plus 1. So now let me run it and see what I get and then make modification. Alright. So I is equal to I plus 1. So what is this? Undeclared. It says undeclared because here you can see I have said I equal to 1. So this should have been int I is equal to 1. Alright, int I is equal to 1. So let me run it once again, and you can see it says enter a number. I'll enter 5 and hit enter, and you can see I have got multiplication table, but then it is in a continuous line. So let me add a new line character, backspace n here, okay, and run once again. Enter a number 5 and it gives me the multiplication table of 5. Okay, let me run once again and let me enter 9 and it gives me the multiplication table of 9. Okay, so we have successfully written a program to get the multiplication table using while loop. So now let me explain you how it works. Alright, so I have declared a variable num, but I have not given any value to it. I'm taking the value from the user and I'm storing it in num. Okay. Then I declared a variable I and set the value to 1. Both I and num are integer values. Now, when the program runs for the first time, I value is 1. Okay, I value is 1. So, this is 1. It checks whether I is less than or equal to 10. Whether 1 is less than or equal to 10. Is this true or false? This is true. And so, what happens is, in this position, number which the user entered will be there. So, let us take 9 itself. So, 9, okay, 9, let me have 9 into I value, initial I value for the first loop is 1, and then the product of number into I, 9 into 1 is 9. So, 9 will be printed out. 9 into 1 equal to 9 will be printed out. So, this is in first loop, okay, first iteration, not loop, first iteration, alright. Then what happens here is I plus 1. What is the value of I in first iteration? 1. So, 1 plus 1, this becomes 2, and so the new value of I will become 2. Now, the control goes over to this once again. New value of I is 2 now. So, it checks whether 2 is less than or equal to 10. So, this comes out as true, and so this is printed out, but with new value of I. I is 2 here. So, 9 into 2, 18 will be done and 18 will be printed out. Then it comes to this line where 2 plus 1. Why 2? Because the new value of I is 2. 2 plus 1 will be done and it will be stored in I. So, 3. So, new value of 3 is new value of I is 3, and the control goes to this once again where it checks this, it comes out as true, and so the loop continues until this becomes 11. Okay, when this becomes 11, it stops. Alright. Yes. So, I hope the working of while loop is clear. Now, I have a task for you. What I want you to do is get the same exact result using do while loop. Alright, I want you to write a program to print out a multiplication table of a number which is taken from the user using do while loop. Alright, do while loop. And then what I want you to do with the while loop is, I want you to print the multiplication from this to this. Okay, meaning what I want in the beginning, first line is 9 into 10, 90. In the next line, I want 9 into, or here, 9 into 10, 90. Then 9 into 9, 72. And then 9 into 8, and so on. Okay, so from 10 till 1 is what you have to get using while loop. Alright, yes. So, that is about the working of while loop. I hope you have understood. It has been a long video. I hope I have not bored you. So, go ahead and practice the things that we have learnt in this video. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and thank you for watching.